Just about this new autumn update, late summer autumn update from eBay. One thing that's gone under the, brushed under the carpet after all the defects and whatnot is a smaller issue that, well, big issue which has been downplayed, that eBay are not removing feedbacks anymore. And on the surface, that may not sound like a big deal, but it actually is. If customers don't read your listing, or they've changed their minds, or they've left feedback inadvertently, or feedback that frankly doesn't make sense or is contradictory, in the past eBay have been able to look at that situation and remove the feedback, especially if the buyer actually explicitly says in the message, I would like to remove the feedback. eBay would step in, you'll call them up, and they will literally step in and they'll see that comment and they'll remove the feedback. But as of now, under these new rules, eBay are now not stepping in. They're leaving it up to you and the buyer to resolve. This means that you have to send out a revision request form, and the revision request form was always there, so that part hasn't changed. But under these new defects that they've brought in, it's now compounded. In the past, you could get the feedback removed with no consequence to yourself, whereas now, even if to say the buyer's happy, they might not log in again. If it's a casual buyer, they've left their feedback, they're initially unhappy or they've made a mistake, they might be now happy now that you've resolved the issue. You might send a request and they may never log back in. They may log back in and not go to the message section, or may not know how to navigate to that section and do the revision request. And the request only stays open for a certain amount of time. I believe it's only about 10 days or so. So if they log in after that window, the request can't be resent. And I just feel it's a shame that it's come to this, because those defects, are going to stay. Now, another issue which compounds even on that even further is that even if they do revise the revision in your dashboard in the back end, the defects actually do stay. So the feedback will go from red to green, or red to grey, but in the back end the defect will still stay. Now I feel that that's wrong, because sellers were actually being penalised for a situation that we've resolved. I'll give you an example. In the past, we've had situations where an item, it arrived faulty, and so we sent out enough. The initial feedback may have been neutral or negative, or even with a comment, positive but a negative, comment. But we've kept in contact with the buyer. We tried to resolve things. We sent out a replacement. They've came back and said the replacement works fine. They're happy, and they would have just said, we're happy. We want this removed. Or even if I did send them a feedback request, they would fill it out and we won't get the defect. Whereas now, the initial impression that they got stays, as the defect stays regardless. And we've even had situations in the past where buyers have maliciously left negative feedback, or didn't understand how to use the item. So it was more of a user issue. Then they've already left the feedback, but we've contacted them, and we can see it's like a user issue, something that they haven't done. But we've managed to get the item working. Now they're happy with the item. But that feedback under these new policies are literally going to stay, because as far as eBay is concerned, it's the buyer's opinion. But my argument is that if it's a situation where it's a user issue, right, the seller, we shouldn't be responsible for whether they have the capacity to understand the user manual and to actually use the item. And when they've admitted it's a user issue, we shouldn't be further penalised. But anyways, It's just something that's gone under the radar. What do you guys think? Have you guys dealt with an issue where you thought that feedback removal was necessary and eBay didn't do it or wouldn't do it? Let us know. Comment down below, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.